Hey Army, welcome back to Celebrity Break, your daily source for the latest BTS news. We're diving deep today into a moment no one expected, a turning point that has the fandom buzzing. When the truth came out, Jungkook made a move no one saw coming, and the cameras accidentally captured it all. The building was quiet, staff had gone home, and the only sound was the distant hum of the night outside. But inside, Jungkook's heart was pounding. Everything that had been hidden, the secrets they danced around for months, were finally out in the open. And for the first time, Jungkook felt the weight lift, only to be replaced by an even heavier fear. Fear of what this truth would do between him and Taehyung. The silence of the night seemed endless as Jungkook paced the hallway outside their dorm. He had no script for this moment, no rehearsed words. He had spent the whole day replaying Taehyung's quiet, unreadable expression. That wasn't the Taehyung the world knew. This was the version he always protected, the one with quiet pain behind his calm smiles. By midnight, Jungkook couldn't take it anymore. He had to talk to him. He turned the corner toward Taehyung's room, his steps determined but cautious. The closer he got, the heavier the air felt. He stopped in front of the door, his hand hovering over the doorknob. Doubts crept in. What if he doesn't want to talk? What if I make everything worse? But the memory of Taehyung's forced smile earlier pushed him forward. Jungkook knocked softly at first. No answer. A second knock, louder this time. Still nothing. His worry spiked. He slowly pushed the door open. Taehyung was sitting by the window, staring out at the city lights, his posture small in the dim light. He didn't turn when Jungkook entered, and for a moment, it felt like Taehyung was miles away. Jungkook stepped in and closed the door behind him. Taehyung, can we talk? Taehyung blinked, as though waking from a deep thought. His voice was barely above a whisper, "You came." Jungkook smiled softly and sat beside him, close but not too close, just enough to feel his warmth. Of course I came. I didn't want you to be alone tonight. Taehyung let out a quiet laugh, the kind that didn't carry any real joy. Tonight, everything feels heavy. His gaze stayed on the window, but Jungkook could see that he wasn't really seeing anything. Jungkook nodded. I didn't expect the truth to come out like that either. But maybe it's better this way. No more pretending. Taehyung turned to look at him, eyes tired and conflicted. Better? You really think so? Jungkook's chest tightened. He wanted to reach out, to touch Taehyung, to reassure him, but he stayed still. I think we've been carrying this alone for too long. And I don't want you to hide anymore. Not from me. Taehyung lowered his gaze, almost to the point of shame. I wasn't hiding from you, he said quietly. I was hiding because I didn't want to burden you. Jungkook's heart ached at those words. He leaned closer, his voice gentle. You're not a burden. You never were. You never will be. The silence that followed was thick with everything they hadn't said. Outside, the world went on, cars, sirens, distant voices. But in that room, it was just them, sitting in a moment that felt fragile, like it could break if they weren't careful. Then Taehyung's voice cracked the quiet. When everything came out today, the first thing I wondered was whether you'd walk away. Jungkook's heart skipped a beat. Walk away? From you? His voice was sharp, almost offended by the thought. Taehyung didn't answer, but the silence spoke volumes. Jungkook shook his head, his hand finally reaching out to Taehyung's arm. The touch was gentle, but the emotion behind it was fierce. I didn't walk away. I came here because you matter to me more than anything. Taehyung's breath trembled. He bit his lip, fighting to hold back his emotions. I didn't know, he whispered. I didn't know what you'd choose after hearing everything. Jungkook's voice softened, his thumb brushing over Taehyung's hand, intertwining their fingers slowly. I choose you. I always have. It was like a weight broke inside Taehyung. Not in a dramatic way, but in a soft, silent release. His head dropped to Jungkook's shoulder, and Jungkook pulled him closer without hesitation. They sat like that for a while, the city lights casting soft reflections on their skin, their breaths in sync as the world outside seemed to disappear. For a long time, neither moved. Jungkook held Taehyung, the quiet between them wrapping around them like a protective blanket. Taehyung's voice broke the silence again, this time heavy with vulnerability. I'm sorry you had to come here like this. Jungkook shook his head. Don't apologize. I wanted to be here. But you shouldn't have to fix everything for me. Taehyung's voice was small, almost fragile. I should be able to handle this myself. Jungkook's heart swelled with emotion. You don't have to handle everything alone. Especially not this time. A small, broken laugh escaped Taehyung, and Jungkook smiled sadly. Then tell me, Taehyung whispered, his voice barely audible. Why did you come, really? Jungkook took a slow breath. Because I couldn't sleep knowing you were hurting. Because I couldn't stop thinking about how you looked earlier, like you were somewhere far away. And because when everything came out today, the only thing I wanted was to find you. Taehyung blinked, caught off guard. You wanted to find me? Yeah, Jungkook said softly. I always look for you first, even when I pretend I don't. Taehyung's breath hitched. It was scary today, he admitted. Hearing the truth like that, it felt like everything could fall apart. Jungkook nodded. It was scary for me too. They sat in silence for a moment before Jungkook carefully turned to face him. Can I ask you something? And please, don't lie. Taehyung hesitated, then nodded. Okay. Jungkook's voice dropped, his words careful. When everything came out today, was your first thought really me? Taehyung's fingers tensed around Jungkook's. He didn't answer immediately, his gaze drifting to the window. Finally, he whispered, yes. It was you. Jungkook's chest tightened with relief. Why? Taehyung swallowed, his voice barely audible. Because I didn't want to lose you. And I thought maybe the truth would change how you saw me. Jungkook's heart clenched. You could tell me the ugliest truth in the world, and I'd still be here. Taehyung's lips parted in surprise, but Jungkook didn't look away. He held Taehyung's gaze, steady and unwavering. You don't get it, do you? Jungkook whispered. You're not someone I step away from. You're the person I run toward. Taehyung stared at him, the depth of his feelings finally breaking through. And then, in the silence that followed, something shifted between them. Taehyung leaned in slightly, just enough that their breath mingled, but not enough to close the distance completely. Jungkook, Taehyung murmured, voice trembling, I don't want to face this without you. Jungkook didn't hesitate. He cupped Taehyung's neck, pulling him closer. You won't, he said softly. Not ever. The world outside kept turning, but in that quiet room, their truth, their love, was all that mattered. The night was theirs.